I try to make new forms of life. And the forms of life are based on just one material. This is conduit, which we use in Holland for cables in houses. So it's everywhere on the street, it's very cheap. And I use it as my basic material of my forms of life. The existing forms of life are just also made of one material called protein. All our bodies are just made of protein. And you can see this tube as my protein. I try to make everything of just these tubes. And these animals, they have to live on the beaches in the future. So I try to work on an evolution of beasts which will survive the storms and the water on the beaches, all the elements on the beaches. And these animals have a big advantage towards the existing animals because they don't have to eat. They don't waste their time looking for food. They get their energy from the wind. So that's why they have wings on top of them. And they gather the wind. Now, in this situation, they're shrunk, they're short, they're pulled in. And that would be the situation when the wind is very strong. So they shouldn't expose themselves too much to the wind. But when the wind is milder like today, well, we don't have any wind at all. They spread the wind. Maybe with the look of my colleague is going to open the valve to see if the wind might be. Now, the beach beasts, they always have to point their nose into the wind, because if they don't do that, just like the seagulls, they do the same thing. If they don't look into the wind, they are be blown away, because the wind is so strong on the beach. And when the wind comes from the front, the wings they move. Well, the wind is coming from that side, so it's hard to work against the wind. So we turned it the other way, and then it went all right. So in the old animals, the classical beach animals, the wings were connected directly to the legs. So when the wings would move, the legs would walk, and the animal would walk between the sea and the fluffy sand, the dry sand. So the hard part of the beach, up and down, always with the nose into the wind. And nowadays, these animals are able to store the wind. That means that the wings are connected with pumps, and they pump up air in soda bottles. It's over there. So they press the wind in the bottles, you could say. And that's why I call this the wind stomach. The wind stomach, the energy which is in there, they need it in cases that the wind falls away on the beach and the tide would come up. They still have a little bit of energy in their wind stomach to reach the dunes and save their life. So they have to survive the wind silences on the beach, because those are very dangerous as well, as the storms are. And for storms they have a special hammer on the front, which is now over there on that table. And the hammer hammers a peg in the ground near the dunes, so they anchor themselves against the storms. They should really stand still during the storm. Now, what we did this afternoon, we pumped up the bottles with a compressor just for you to speed up the process a little bit. And we're going to see if the animal's really going to walk on its wind stomach. Now, it's going to walk that way, so this is a very dangerous area.
When you made one and it first moved, you know?